If you're preparing for the Managing Microsoft Teams exam, don't schedule your test before watching this video. Because in this video, I'll show you the important Managing Microsoft Teams exam questions and topics that helped me pass the exam quickly. If you're planning to pass the Managing Microsoft Teams certification exam on your first attempt, you're in the right place. This certification is offered by Microsoft, and it focuses on configuring and managing Microsoft Teams, security, compliance, governance, and voice solutions within the Microsoft 365 ecosystem. In this video, we'll cover important Managing Microsoft Teams exam questions and preparation tips that can help you pass the exam quickly. Also, if you want the complete Managing Microsoft Teams practice questions PDF, the download link is available in the description.
Question 1. Your organization wants to prevent users from adding external apps to Microsoft Teams. You need to configure the Teams app permission policy. What should you do? A. Block all third-party apps in the Teams Admin Center. B. Remove the app from the app catalog. C. Set the global app permission policy to allow Microsoft apps only. D. Disable app uploads in Teams settings. Correct answer. C. Set the global app permission policy to allow Microsoft apps only. Explanation. App permission policies in the Teams Admin Center control which apps users can access. Setting the global policy to allow Microsoft apps only will block all third-party and custom apps across the organization. Question 2. A user reports that they cannot find the private channel they were added to in Microsoft Teams. The channel exists, but the user cannot see it. What is the most likely cause? A. The user is a guest in the organization. B. The user was added to the team but not the private channel. C. Private channels are disabled in the Teams Admin Center. D. The user does not have a Teams license. Correct answer. B. The user was added to the team but not the private channel. Explanation. Private channels have their own separate membership. Being a member of the team does not automatically grant access to private channels within that team. The channel owner must explicitly add the user to the private channel.
Quick exam. Tip 1. Important thing about the Managing Microsoft Teams exam is that many questions focus on real-world administration scenarios. Make sure you clearly understand these key topics: Teams policies, meeting messaging app calling Teams governance, naming policies, expiration and lifecycle management, checkmark guest, and external access configuration, checkmark Teams phone, and calling plans, checkmark security and compliance, retention, e-discovery and audit logs, checkmark live events and meetings configuration, check Teams channels, standard, private, and shared. Check Microsoft 365 groups and Teams relationship.
Question 3. Your organization wants to ensure that all Microsoft Teams created by users follow a specific naming convention. For example, every team name must start with the department name. What should you configure? A. A Teams template. B. A Microsoft 365 groups naming policy. C. A Teams meeting policy. D. A sensitivity label. Correct answer, B. A Microsoft 365 groups naming policy. Explanation. Teams are backed by Microsoft 365 groups. Naming policies for Microsoft 365 groups apply prefixes or suffixes to group and team names automatically. This enforces consistent naming conventions across the organization. Question 4. You need to prevent users from communicating with people outside the organization through Microsoft Teams chat. What should you configure? A. Disable federation in the Teams Admin Center. Under external access. B. Turn off guest access in Teams settings. C. Block all third-party apps. D. Configure a messaging policy to disable chat. Correct answer. A. Disable federation in the Teams Admin Center under external access. Explanation. External access, also called federation, controls whether Teams users in your organization can communicate with users in other Teams or Skype organizations. Disabling it prevents all external communication through chat. Guest access is different and only controls access for guests already invited into your tenant. Question 5. A company wants to allow a partner organization's users to participate in Teams meetings and access specific team channels without creating accounts in your tenant. What should you configure? A. External access, federation. B. Guest access. C. Shared channels. D. Anonymous meeting join. Correct answer. C. Shared channels. Explanation. Shared channels allow users from external organizations to collaborate in a Teams channel without needing a guest account in your tenant. They use their own organization credentials. This is the most seamless external collaboration experience in Microsoft Teams. Question 6. Your organization needs to ensure that Microsoft Teams meetings are recorded and that recordings are stored in a specific location for compliance purposes. Where are Teams meeting recordings stored by default for a user who has OneDrive? A. SharePoint Document Library. B. OneDrive for Business of the Meeting Organizer. C. Microsoft Stream. D. Exchange Online Mailbox. Correct answer. B. OneDrive for Business of the Meeting Organizer. Explanation. For non-channel meetings, Teams meeting recordings are stored in the OneDrive for Business folder of the Meeting Organizer. For channel meetings, recordings are stored in the SharePoint document library of the team. This changed from the old Microsoft Stream storage model. Question 7. You need to configure Microsoft Teams so that users can make and receive PSTN calls using their existing phone numbers. Your organization has already purchased a supported SBC. Which solution should you deploy? A. Microsoft Calling Plan. B. Direct Routing. C. Audio Conferencing. D. Teams Phone Mobile. Correct answer, B. Direct Routing. Explanation. Direct routing allows you to connect your own supported session border controller, SBC, to Microsoft phone system. This lets users make and receive PSTN calls while keeping existing phone numbers and telephony infrastructure. Calling plans are Microsoft managed and do not use your own SBC. Question 8. A user in your organization is unable to schedule live events in Microsoft Teams. All other users can schedule live events without any issues. What is the most likely cause? A. The user does not have a Teams license. B. The user is not assigned a live events policy that allows scheduling. C. Live events are disabled globally in the Teams admin center. D. The user is a guest account. Correct answer, B. The user is not assigned a live events policy that allows scheduling. Explanation. Live event scheduling is controlled by Teams live events policies. If the global policy allows it, but a specific user cannot schedule, it means a restrictive policy has been assigned to that specific user. Checking and updating the user's assigned policy will resolve the issue. Question 9. Your organization wants to automatically delete Microsoft Teams that have been inactive for 180 days. You need to implement this with minimal administrative effort. What should you configure? A. A retention policy in Microsoft Purview. B. A Microsoft 365 Groups Expiration policy. C. A Teams lifecycle policy in Teams Admin Center. D. A Power Automate Flow to check team activity. Correct answer, B. A Microsoft 365 Groups Expiration policy. Explanation. Microsoft 365 Groups expiration policies automatically expire groups and their associated teams after a configured period of inactivity. Owners are notified before expiration and can renew the group. This requires minimal administrative effort compared to manual cleanup. Question 10. You need to configure Microsoft Teams so that only specific users can bypass the meeting lobby when joining a scheduled meeting. Which meeting policy setting should you configure? A. Allow Meet Now in channels. B. Automatically admit people. C. Allow cloud recording. D. Allow transcription. Correct answer, B. Automatically admit people. Explanation. The automatically admit people setting in the Teams meeting policy controls who can bypass the lobby and join a meeting directly. Options include everyone, people in my organization, people in trusted organizations, and specific combinations. This gives fine-grained control over lobby bypass. Question 11. A team owner wants to prevent team members from creating new channels in a Microsoft Teams team. Where should this be configured? A. Teams Admin Center. Teams Policies. B. Microsoft 365 Admin Center. Group Settings. C. Team Settings. Member Permissions. D. Teams Messaging Policy. Correct answer. C. Team Settings. Member Permissions. Explanation. Individual team settings allow team owners to control what members can do within their specific team. Under member permissions, the team owner can turn off the ability for members to create, update, or delete channels. This setting is team-specific and not a global policy. Question 12. Your organization needs to retain all Microsoft Teams chat messages for 5 years for legal and compliance purposes. What should you configure? A. A Teams messaging policy. B. A retention policy in Microsoft Purview for Teams chat messages. C. An archive policy in Exchange Online. D. A data loss prevention policy. Correct answer. B. A retention policy in Microsoft Purview for Teams chat messages. Explanation. Retention policies in Microsoft Purview can be applied specifically to Teams chat messages and channel messages. Setting a 5-year retention policy ensures all Teams messages are preserved for the required period regardless of whether users delete them. Question 13. You need to ensure that sensitive information such as credit card numbers is not shared through Microsoft Teams chat messages. What should you configure? A. A Teams messaging policy. B. A sensitivity label. C. A data loss prevention, DLP policy. D. An information barrier policy. Correct answer, C, a data loss prevention DLP policy. Explanation: DLP policies in Microsoft Purview can detect and block sensitive information types such as credit card numbers, social security numbers, and more from being shared in Teams chat and channel messages. When a violation is detected, the message can be blocked or a warning shown to the user. Question 14. Your organization has two departments that must not be able to communicate with each other through Microsoft Teams due to regulatory requirements. What should you configure? A. External access policies. B. Information barriers. C. Sensitivity labels. D. Conditional access policies. Correct answer, B. Information barriers. Explanation: information barriers in Microsoft Purview allow administrators to restrict communication and collaboration between specific groups or segments of users within the same organization. This is commonly used in financial institutions to prevent conflicts of interest between departments. Question 15. A Microsoft Teams user reports that they cannot send messages with GIFs or memes in team channels. Other users in the same team can send them without any issues. What is the most likely cause? A. The user's Teams client is outdated. B. The team owner has restricted GIFs and memes in team settings. C. The user is assigned a messaging policy that disables GIFs and memes. D. The Microsoft 365 content filter is blocking the content. Correct answer, C. The user is assigned a messaging policy that disables GIFs and memes. Explanation: Teams messaging policies control individual user capabilities in chat and channels, including the ability to use GIFs, memes, and stickers. Since other users in the same team can send them, the issue is specific to this user's assigned messaging policy. Question 16. You need to configure Microsoft Teams phone for a user so they can make calls using a Teams-certified desk phone. The user already has a phone system license. What additional step is required? A. Assign an audio conferencing license. B. Assign a phone number and a calling plan or direct routing. C. Enable the user for Exchange Online. D. Configure a Teams meeting policy. Correct answer, B. Assign a phone number and a calling plan or direct routing. Explanation: phone system license enables the PBX capabilities but does not include PSTN connectivity. To make and receive external calls, the user must also be assigned a phone number and either a Microsoft calling plan or be enabled for direct routing through a connected SBC. Question 17. Your organization wants to allow Teams users to join meetings hosted by an external organization without needing to sign in. Which setting should you enable? A. Guest access in Teams Admin Center. B. Anonymous join in Teams meeting policies. C. External access federation. D. Shared channels configuration. Correct answer, B. Anonymous join in Teams meeting policies. Explanation: anonymous join allows users to join external Teams meetings without signing in with a Microsoft account. This setting is controlled through Teams meeting policies and must be enabled both at the policy level and the organization level in the Teams Admin Center. Question 18. You need to deploy Microsoft Teams in a way that ensures users in your organization can only access Teams from compliant and domain-joined devices. What should you configure? A. A Teams app permission policy. B. A conditional access policy in Azure Active Directory. C. A device compliance policy in Teams Admin Center. D. An information barrier policy. Correct answer, B. A conditional access policy in Azure Active Directory. Explanation: conditional access policies in Azure Active Directory control access to cloud apps including Microsoft Teams based on conditions such as device compliance status, domain join, location, and user risk. This ensures only compliant and domain-joined devices can access Teams. Question 19. A team in your organization is no longer active. The team owner has left the company, and there is no replacement owner. You need to assign a new owner to the team. What should you do? A. Ask any team member to promote themselves to owner. B. Use the Teams Admin Center to assign a new owner. C. Delete and recreate the team with a new owner. D. Contact Microsoft support to assign a new owner. Correct answer, B. Use the Teams Admin Center to assign a new owner. Explanation: global administrators and Teams administrators can use the Teams Admin Center to manage team membership and assign new owners directly. This does not require recreating the team or contacting Microsoft support. Question 20. Your organization wants to prevent Microsoft Teams from being used on personal mobile devices while still allowing access from corporate managed devices. What is the most effective solution? A. Disable Teams mobile app in the Teams Admin Center. B. Configure a mobile app management (MAM) policy in Microsoft Intune. C. Create a Teams app permission policy blocking mobile access. D. Configure a messaging policy for mobile users. Correct answer, B. Configure a mobile app management MAM policy in Microsoft Intune. Explanation. Mobile application management policies in Microsoft Intune allow organizations to control how apps like Teams are used on mobile devices. You can require managed devices for access, enforce data protection rules, and prevent access from personal unmanaged devices while allowing access from corporate managed devices.
If you want to practice more exam questions like these, you can download the complete Microsoft Managing Microsoft Teams Practice Questions PDF from the link in the description. The full PDF includes updated exam questions with detailed explanations, real exam simulation practice tests, coverage of all managing Microsoft Teams, exam topics, Teams policies, governance, security, and voice configuration questions, preparation materials for Microsoft certifications. The download link is available in the description below. If this video helped you understand the Microsoft Managing Microsoft Teams exam, make sure to like this video, comment how many questions you answered correctly, subscribe for more certification exam preparation videos, download the full Managing Microsoft Teams Questions PDF from the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your Microsoft Managing Microsoft Teams certification.